Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Hardin Local Weekly. We're glad to see you here on December 2nd, the first official snow day of the year. Happy snow day, everyone. Let us get everybody pulled up here. Trying to do look today. Glad to see all y'all. Nate, happy Tuesday to you.
You as well?
Britten, good to see you, sir. You're muted, but it's all good. Thank you for joining us, Britten. He's going to be doing we're going to be reacting to one of his video reviews of a sweet retreat? Is that right?
Sweet Retreat Bakery. Yep.
A sweet retreat bakery. So we'll be doing that. Nate obviously will be doing business updates. We also have John O'Brien. How are you doing this morning? This afternoon?
Doing wonderful.
Got a bunch of event updates for us out here.
A lot.
Yes. And Nate's part of that one too, because it's from a lot of his holiday guide stuff that we added in there.
So
we also have our special. Go ahead.
There's just so much going on. Like, I think there's 22 Christmas-related things across the county on Saturday. I don't even think I have them all. There's just so much stuff. If you can't find Santa this weekend, you're not trying.
We also have Rachel Brantingham, who's our special guest. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Scott Lucas, my co-host, who helps me with a lot of the back end and also joins us and helps with the flow and sometimes talks on stream.
Sometimes.
Depending on how much time I have to organize all of that, which today has been crazy busy. So
it's always crazy on snow day.
It is, right? I had my kid until just recently. His mom just picked them up, which was great to have them. I'm just not used to doing all those things beyond 6:30 or 7 whenever I drop them off at school. So speaking of a snow day, though, I want to know from each of you, what is your snow day essential? What do you got to have on a snow day? Mine is boots, because I hate when my feet get wet. Nate?
Just layers and layers of clothes, because I hate the winter. Courtney is very cold-blooded, keeps our bedroom at 60 something, and I hate the winter. So the more layers that I can put on, the better.
What about you, Britt?
I think the biggest snow day essential is something warm to eat. Pot of chili, bowl, pot of soup. Big breakfast. We had family breakfast this morning. My daughter's a senior, so she was excited when she got the text this morning. So we got up and had breakfast about 9 this morning, and then proceeded to get the day started.
Yes. What about you, John?
See, I thought essential activity versus essential item.
You can go with
just
that.
Running down the road and trying to slide as long as I can. So that was what I did this morning before I went to the gym. To warm up for the gym.
There you go.
Try to slide down the road.
Yep.
What about you, Rachel?
Okay, I have two. So coffee. I have had a cup of coffee everywhere I've been today just to keep my hands warm. And the second is friends and family. Like any chance that there is a snow day just calls for as many people who can get to my house in any regard, or to their house. We just try to pile all together and just enjoy it. So
that's great. Scott?
Well, I don't mind the cold too much. I mean, usually you'll find me with my sleeveless shirts on, and I'm in shorts already. So I like the cold as far as an essential. I just don't like the snow too much. So
all right. Yeah. Not the biggest fan of it either.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And my son was really excited when he woke up at 6 and I was like, go back to sleep. I didn't get the text till 5 a.m. that said school was out. So it was good to see. So before we get started, just wanted to remind everybody to scan our QR code over here on this side of the screen, or go to hardinlocal.com. Need you to follow us. And also, you'll be able to find some links for this week's episode. I haven't had time to get them added yet, but they will be added today. Any of the related links to how you can follow anybody on the show, or, we'll have the events that we talk about in a PDF up there and several other things. Also, drop your questions, events, business news, or community shout outs in the chat, which for you, the chat is the comments of the post wherever you're watching on, whether it's on Facebook. You just drop it in the comments. We'll get it in the stream, and we will, as long as they're appropriate, we will bring them up. If not now, by the end of the show, we will go through everything we missed. So we want to give everybody that's watching, our audience, an opportunity to be able to participate and to promote whatever it is that you're doing locally. We also ask for you to share the stream so that other folks in Hardin County can join us. And if you're not able to watch live, don't worry. You can still watch later. And I'll even be editing each segment of this clip of this live stream into shorter clips that are also sped up, because we remove a lot of the extra words that don't need to be used. So you can wait for that later today as well, or you can just watch the stream video later. But we appreciate you being here. And we do have quite a few, more than we've ever had at this point. So thank you guys for joining us. So like I said, we'll respond to as many comments as we can. Let's go ahead and check on them real quick. Oh, well, let's check out Danny O'Brien here. Your live viewership is growing. This is true. Now, Larry, I'm not going to show his. It wasn't very nice. Unless it's a useless. Unless he said useless. I don't know. I'm not going to pull it up. David, glad to see you. David Mather. Glad that you're here. Carrie, great to see you.
Hi, Carrie.
Tell Elrod I said hi. Yes. All right, let's get started. We're going to start. So this is the way the flow is going to go today. And this show may go a little longer than normal just because we have a couple extra things. And at the end, we'll have an announcement. So the event rundown, we'll start with John O'Brien on events, and then Nate with business. And then Britten will do his video review reaction of the Sweet Retreat Bakery. And then we'll finish off with Rachel Branningham's interview. And then we'll be done for the day. So we hope you stick around, but we're going to go ahead and get started.
All right,
Dawn,
yeah,
that's
let's get rolling. Let's get rolling. A lot of things happening. Like I said, Nate's going to help me out with a Saturday because that's just too much stuff. But tonight, we've got a couple things going on in town and around the county. We've got trivia night at Flywheel, as well as bussin' bites, corn dogs, burgers, chicken quesadillas. Everything they got going on is great. Joe's game night at Hub House. There's also a Naughty or Nice Zumba party, Toys for Tots at Bluegrass Middle School from 6 to 7:30. And a holiday cheer music spectacular at the PAC at John Hardin High School at 7 p.m. Those would be some fun things to do. Get your
I wonder if
food
that
in your
got
belly.
canceled. I wonder if that got canceled since school got canceled.
I don't know. I don't know if that's something. No,
No,
I don't know. I haven't.
Maybe one of us can figure
Nobody's
that
let
out.
me in, or nobody's let me know that if stuff's been canceled or not.
Okay.
so right now
Well-
we'll go with it. Right.
Yes.
While Phil checks it out. Tomorrow we've got a Santa Secret Workshop at the Cavern Club that runs Wednesday through Saturday. So special thing at Cavern Club. Karaoke night at the Hub House. They've also got a couple new beers on tap. I think their winter ale is available, the Christmas cookie ale. So that's something good to try if you're of age to do so. And the Prophecy Show, which is a Trans-Siberian Orchestra tribute band, will be at the Historic State Theater at 7 p.m. I remember, I don't know if it was middle school when I first heard that album and that performance, but it was just a really fun, change. I don't know if everybody else had that same experience with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
I really wish that they would do more weekend shows, because this is one of the ones that I would go to if it was on a Saturday night.
Yep. So Thursday, we've got Singo at Hub House, Ladies Night at Impelzeri's, Ladies Community Bunko ornament exchange at the Colvin Community Center in Radcliffe. That'd be a fun time. I remember my mom playing bunco back in the day with all her friends,
Yeah.
and they'd be sitting around the table, and I'd just watch them. I'm like, what are they doing here? But it seemed like a fun little dice game that they could do. You ever played bunco, Phil?
I have not, that I remember anyway.
What about you, Rachel? You ever played that?
No, I've heard the name of the game, but I'm extremely competitive. So if you're going to teach me, just be ready because
It's
take things seriously.
You got to. All right. Friday starts a bunch of events, as well as kind of the parades and lighting of trees in Elizabethtown and Radcliffe. So the parade starts at 6:15, and the tree lighting will be at 7. So that's gonna be a fun time in Elizabethtown. There's also a Christmas village at Brown Pusey House from 5 to 10 p.m. The City of Radcliffe tree lighting and Candyland Festival, which Candyland Festival sounds really fun. Scott, do you know anything about that Candyland Festival?
No, I don't.
Okay, it sounds like a good time if you like sweets. The only sweets I really like are these like Christmas tree cakes. Those are my favorite things. Other than that, I'm not a big sweets guy. Auction for the kids and the light up at Vine Grove is going to be 5 p.m. Auction at 6 p.m. There's going to be free chili, carriage rides, and Santa Claus. There's also a Jingle Bell Trot Fun Run starting at 11:59 p.m. at Freeman Lake, and a live nativity scene from 4 to 6 in the Glendale City Park. So that's going to be a fun Friday night. Nate, you
Have a
want to help me out with
question.
some of these Saturday? Oh, yeah.
We have
Yeah.
a question. We have a question there. Is BBT going to have free bourbon after the parade?
So no free bourbon. I can answer that for Stacy. We will not be having free bourbon. We will have some deals for sure, and we also will have some hot chocolate with or without some bourbon as well. So if you are out here want to stay warm during that parade, we will have hot chocolate all night long. So stop in.
Bunko
Nate.
is so much fun, Gwen said.
It is
But anyway,
fun. Bunko's a fun game. It's a little competitive.
Yes.
Again, it's a hard game.
Trying to get a couple of these comments in real quick before you switch to Saturday.
Oh,
Corey
yeah.
Greenwell said, "Afternoon, everyone. Happy afternoon, Corey." And we got Matt Mann saying hi. Hi, Matt. Good to see you. Also got Grammy's Cookies. Hello, Grammy's Cookies.
We love Gammy's cookies. Brenton and I were there. She did the
Gammy's
ones for the thing. She says she's going to do them again for our December 20th, which is thanks to Rachel, which we will be having at her building out near Pine Valley. So thank you for that. The Gammy's went great. I was lucky that Courtney grabbed one before everybody else got there because someone actually tried to take it off of our table. So they went so well. People loved them.
All right. Well, Saturday time.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
Nate.
Saturday. We will start downtown. Breakfast with Santa at the Historic State Theater. 8, 9:30, or 11. You have to make a reservation. I believe you can go to City of E-Town events or their Facebook page if there's still openings. But yeah, breakfast with Santa at 8, 9:30, or 11. Staying downtown. Great way to, if you got one of the early morning breakfast, and then go to the Santa House on Walker Square. The Santa House has been going on for years. It's a legend. And then Saturday night, they're showing Elf at 7 o'clock at the State. So Saturday's a great place to be hanging out. Plus all the restaurants to keep you warm. Going countywide, we get started early, 9 a.m. The Hardin County Farmers Market has a holiday market from 9 to 1 over in Rineyville at Smith's Crossing, which is a great facility. They have the Rineyville Winter Vendor Fair from 9 to 2 with Santa photos from 10 a.m. till noon. The Radcliffe Community Pancake Breakfast at Colvin Community Center is 9 to 11. I think you'll be able to see some of the trees in there too because the trees go live. And they have some nice decorated trees. Glendale, come down south to exit 86, drive down Dixie. Christmas in the Country, 11 to 5. They've got carriage rides, and they've got Santa and the Grinch. I think Santa might be in Whistle Stop. There's more information on my page. The Cabin at Glendale, 10 to 5, also has Christmas in the Country. Airbrush and Glow Beauty Bar, which is out near Remax, IHOP, Kohl's, in that building. Pretty sure that's pretty close to, Rachel knows exactly where that place is at, based on where that building's at. Their holiday soiree and Airbrush Glow and Beauty Bar is from 10 to 2. There are plenty of free services. I might need my eyebrows done, but they have that going on. Free pancakes with Santa. What's better than Santa? What's better than pancakes? When you put them together. Free pancakes with Santa. Heaven Bound Baptist Church, 11 to 2. So you get to see Santa and eat free pancakes. That is awesome. The Etown Women's Club has its annual Christmas tree from noon to 2 at Servants Valley. It's $25. I suck at wreath making, so if I wanted to learn, Hip South and Denison have teamed up for a holiday wreath making workshop at 11 or 2. You had to sign up for that. This is where I will be. The Christmas cookie decorating party at Cosmic Golf is from 11 to 1. Courtney went in on this one, so I'm going to learn how to decorate a cookie, or at least eat cookies, one of the two. Santa's going to be there. I told John Potts and Chris and Kendall they better not be making fun of me. But I'm sure I will post what's going to happen next. Becca's Place is holding a Merry Christmas market from 11 to 4. That's at New Highland Elementary. Cecilia Valley has Mr. and Mrs. Claus during their holiday market from the Cecilia Valley Elementary School PTO's holiday market. That's from a 9 to 1. The Hosperis Thrift Shop, that is near Rose's, I believe, on the corner. They've got free photos with Santa between 10 and 2. And if more pictures, if you want pictures with Santa, you go to downtown at the Morrison Lodge from noon to 4. And if you need photos of your pets, my dog hates pictures. Would be cute to have him in one. Noon to 4 at Feeder Supply in front of Lowe's. They will also be doing it Sunday. We have some nice performing arts and movies. The Grinch Holiday Dance Adventure is from 6 to 8 p.m. at the EPAC. I believe that's done by the Etown Independent Schools group. And the Heart of Kentucky Men's Chorus has Christmas at the Movies, 7 o'clock at the PAC. I might end up at that one. That seems neat. I think there's free tickets for that one too. John, did you want back in on Sunday?
Yeah, I can roll on Sunday. The Santa House, Walker Square, is still going on, noon to 4 p.m. Out at Crown Point Theater, Polar Express will be out there 11 and 2 p.m. I believe Nate's got a little info on that. If you're trying to kind of pinch the penny, they'll be changing things up out there. And Southern Sunday brunch at JR Neighbors. Pictures with your pet at Feeder Supply again, noon to 4 p.m. They've got the all poetry open mic at Flywheel, which is, if you haven't been to one of those, it's kind of a fun experience to do. Local writers and musicians and things, they'll just do like an open mic, kind of have fun, either play some music as well as just read some spoken word poetry. White Mills will have their parade and live nativity and bridge lighting and charity dinner. Parade at 5:30, nativity and dinner at 6 p.m. and bridge lighting will be at 7 p.m. And of course, started last week, but the Christmas in the Park is going on. Again, Nate said it last week. I'll reiterate it. Please enter going northbound. Do not try to come around south and swing around and J-turn and do all that stuff. That's just
Can't do no
how
roundabouts
problems
or nothing
happen.
like that.
Well, there's no roundabouts out there. But yeah, just go northbound. I mean, it's a lot easier. If you don't know how to do that, just go southbound, do a J-turn down past Planet Fitness and past all that and come up this way.
Yeah. Just don't cut people off, right?
Yeah, just don't cut people off. Yeah.
And use your
Bad for
turn signal.
Christmas spirit. Bad for Christmas
Turn signal.
spirit.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you don't have one, stick your arm out.
I think it's so cool that we have Christmas in the park. I remember as a very little girl getting a vehicle with my parents and driving through. So to be able to still do that with my kids, I just think it's important to shout out to all the local businesses that feature displays in there, because it's just a very cool tradition that we have had for at least 30 years because of my age. But I don't know how long it's been there, but it's a pretty cool feature.
It has. I don't know how long it's been there. That'd be a
Definitely
fun
is.
fact to figure out. If anybody knows watching how long that's been going on, comment with it. We also have our favorite. Well, we love all the food trucks, but one of our particularly good friends is Bust and Bites food truck. The guys love their corn dogs, and they'll be out at the Cecilia Valley PTO Saturday with Franklin Smoke Shack, Grill LLC, and I'm not even going to try to say it. Sweet Treats, whatever that is. But yeah,
Ladora's.
Ladora's. Thank you. Yeah. Anywho, thank you, John and Nate, for the events. We'll switch on over to business with Nate.
Well, to continue to touch on what Rachel just said, Google AI says Christmas Park in Elizabethtown started in 1993. It's created by Mayor Pat Derman and Carolyn Ritchie.
Now, did you use Google to
I
search up
did.
AI, or did you use AI?
I did Google, then clicked on AI mode.
Oh,
Because before I clicked on AI, it just gave me what time it started, like on Thanksgiving Eve. It was like, no, what year? So with the AI mode, and it found it. So love you some AI. But going over to business, as John just pointed out, Crown Point says with the Treasury no longer going to produce pennies in 2026, we're getting rid of them. We are officially phasing them out at our theater. Going forward, all totals will be rounded to the nearest nickel. So if it's 6.23, it goes up to 6.25 because that's only a 2-penny difference. If it's 6.22, it goes down to 6.20 because it's only a 2-penny difference for you math majors out there. So if your total gets rounded up or down, don't get mad. I mean, I know a couple other businesses the other day. I was owed 28 cents. They just handed me a quarter. So still jumped about my 3 pennies. I could have collected them, but I'm sad. Anyway,
I know Kroger. I know Kroger is rounding up everything. Like, so if they owe you a penny, they're giving you a nickel. And Walmart, I think, is doing the same thing. So I like that.
And I think either Dollar Tree or Dollar General, the ones that I go to, have said something along the same lines. Say, don't be shocked if we don't have pennies. So I think it makes sense. I'll miss it, but sign of the times.
So is that what's happening? They're phasing out all pennies nationwide.
Yeah,
it's too expensive to make them.
Nice. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
And Kroger still has all the pennies because they have pennies to give you, but I think they're holding on to them. I think they're going to invest those somewhere. I don't know. We'll see.
They're the new Bitcoin.
Yes.
Club One, our friends, we worked with them when they relaunched. They've released some more information. Club One Fitness is the official name. CLUB space ONE. The logo is blue and orange with a nice C and a 1 that whoever created it. I like how they tied it in. If you took advantage of the Black Friday sales, they were doing $19.95 a month, which I think I think that's pretty cheap. I think that's doable. What they've been working on, they've been working nonstop since their updates. They have restored utilities. They have deep cleaned and repaired the building. The sauna is up and running, which I know some people are jacked about. The indoor pool is heated, running, and ready. And I think that in a few weeks they'll do announce the schedule, what's going to happen, if this is going to be senior day or high school day or kids day, open swims, laps. I mean, obviously there's a lot of logistics to work out when you've got one pool and 9,000 different people wanting to do things with it. So that makes sense. They're also exploring community solutions for the outdoor pool. We will share the link to the post whenever we update this and the screenshot. I've also just shared it on my page. They'll be opening with the same layout everyone's familiar with, just cleaner, fix, and refresh. Major renovations will begin after we open, and we'll share updates and get community input along the way. We couldn't be more excited to bring this place back to life in E-Town. Drop Club One below and secure your rate today. All right. I thought I had the name of this next one. I missed it. The Laker Drive-In. They are going to Goldenrod downtown, more downtown stuff. Their name is going to be Laker on Dixie. That's going to be the name of the restaurant. They posted it they started posting. We've got some big news. We are now open on Tuesdays. That means you now find us here every day of the week. Keep an eye out for updates and a new page for our restaurant, Laker on Dixie. We're almost ready to throw open the doors. They are hiring for bartenders, so that's definitely different from what we see down in Stevensburg. So they're supposed to have their same flavors that we know and love, and some new things as well. So that'll be exciting for downtown. Obviously, I will go once they open. More big news. Nuts About Coffee is going to that. If you've been over there, it's in the Lincoln Center, Building 2, I believe. No, Building 1. Building 1 at the end. Yeah,
I think so.
Building 1 at the end. Building 1 at the far right. There's so much stuff over there. I forget which building's which. Rebecca Carter and Jeff Farmer helped share this. Big news for Elizabethtown. We're excited to welcome Bean Cove, not Ben, Bean, Bean Cove or Cove. I guess I'll have to ask what it's
Cove.
pronounced. I'm always somebody that always Cove. I've never say it right. To Lincoln Center as they take over the former Nuts About Coffee location. Even more exciting, Bean Cove has chosen Elizabethtown as their flagship location, with plans to expand their brand in additional markets in the future, which means they could be starting basically the franchise. Fresh concept will bring in specialty waffles. John, I saw John's eyes just lit up. So did Britten. Not too many places in here specialize in waffles, but I do love me some waffles. That's one of the favorite things I had to eat whenever I went to the Carmel Christmas market. Waffles, waffle sandwiches, expanded coffee menu, and breakfast favorites to eat sound, and we can't wait for the community to enjoy it. We want to extend a warm thank you to both sides for this successful transition, as Shannon Berry from Nuts About Coffee for helping it move over, Bean Cove for moving it out. The Bean Cove General Hotline, 270-260-6366, is that. The people to contact about this is Royce McKnight and Harvey Specter. This is, yes, that's the name Harvey Specter, not the same guy from Suits. Obviously, that was a made-up name. But this is theirs, Harvey Specter and Royce McKnight. They will have, I'm assuming that they will have a page up pretty soon. So that's all I've got for business this week.
Great. Wanted to add one more thing in there. It's kind of business. It's kind of government. But Hardin County government announced yesterday, or they actually launched that 9th ambulance. And I'll just read what they said on their Facebook page. With a crowd of more than 50 people watching, the 9th full-time ambulance for Hardin County was put into service this morning. The location in White Mills at the West Hardin Fire and Rescue Station 2 is the first for the portion of that county. It is expected to decrease response time by at least half. The rig is fully staffed 24 hours a day, and the county will pay a monthly fee of $250 to the fire department for rent, utilities, and upkeep of the building. The ceremony featured State Senator Matt Deneen, Hardin County Judge Executive Keith Taul, Magistrates Larry Hicks, and a bunch of other names on here. The other magistrates, of course, Kenny Saltzman, Patsy Whitehead, Aaron Pennington, and Kenny Muse were there, as well as EMS Director Mark Peterson. There's some pictures on their site, but you can run over to Hardin County Government's Facebook page after the stream. Don't drop off to go look at that yet. Wait till we're done. And but that's pretty exciting news. I know for people that live in that side of the county that they'll have faster response times when they're in need of medical emergency help.
I do have one more thing I did forgot. I meant to mention it last week. I didn't really do it. But our friends over at Cosmic Golf are hosting the National Putting Tour. That's on Saturday, or is that the 6th? I hope so. The 6th, National Putting Tour, 2 o'clock start, 1:30 check-in. You can choose your division for you really, really good players, which I am not. Didn't get a hole in one the other night. $200. Amateurs, $50. Maybe I qualify. Beginners, I'll play left-handed. That's $10. You sign up at the nationalputtingtour.com, nationalputtingtour.com. All skill levels are available. And good thing is, if you saw what ESPN did during the summer, they had like a random sports like wiffle ball and paintball and other things. This will actually be shown on the national ESPN 8, the Ocho, in August. So you might be able to make an appearance on ESPN 8 and Ocho in August. But I'm sure there's going to be some really good putters that just embarrass me out there if I'm still over there after my cookies. That's about the time I'll be getting done with my cookies, so I'll probably just walk over there real fast. They do have a post. Cosmic Golf has a post about it, but sign up at nationalputtingtour.com.
All right. Well, for those of you that have joined us or since we started, we have finished business news and events. We are going to move on to the Experience Leader segment, where we're going to react to a video that Britten and Michele did. And then after that, Rachel Brantingham and I will be interviewing her. And at the end, we'll have our big announcement, and then we will be done. And while you're taking a minute to think about what I just said, maybe I should think about what I just said and ask you again, too. Scan our QR code, go to hardinlocal.com, or if you don't follow us on Facebook, follow us. You can also find on hardinlocal.com links to follow Nate, the experienced eater, and we'll be adding links to Rachel's and to the other people on the show as well. So with that being said, let me get
Oh, boy.
Let me get Britten and Michele up. How are you guys doing today? Good to see you, Michele.
Hi.
Great to
Nice,
see you. As
nice
always.
cold winter day today.
It sure is. And
What's up?
a snow day to boot. So, well, do you all want to set up this a Sweet Retreat video review reaction we're going to do? Give us a little background on what made you decide to review it, and is there was there a game plan, or did you just point at whatever looked good?
So, a Sweet Retreat, actually, we've known Bess since like 2014. She actually started out up here in Ratcliffe, and we got to know her through the Small Business Alliance way back. And then, and so I don't remember when exactly she moved to E-Town, but she is somebody that has started out and she has mastered her craft.
Yes.
And something that was very interesting about Bess's business. She does custom cakes and has things for purchase in the bakery, but she is huge on TikTok. Has a huge following. I think the last time I checked it was like 350,000 or something like that. But I mean, she goes live at night while she's there decorating cakes, and she has 700,000-800,000 people on her feed, and so she, like I said, we've been friends, tried to support her when she was here in town, and then also up there. So we were out and about one day, and we had tried to do it the week before, and she'd been on vacation, so we went in and got disappointed she wasn't there, but read the sign on the door, and we marked it on the calendar to come back, and so we just went up and gave her a visit, and we talked some social media and talked some business strategies, and but it's, when you have somebody that's having that kind of success, I mean, all you can do is do whatever you can to learn from them.
Learn.
And it just so happened too, we got some really good treats out of it too.
Well, that's great. Speaking of TikTok, we are streaming on TikTok today, but we can't see your comments. So if you're commenting on there, I'll check it after the stream's over. But if you want us to see your comments, you need to be on YouTube or Facebook, and then we'll be able to pull them into the stream. But yeah, let's get started with that video reaction. Here we go.
Hey guys, Experienced Eater here coming in, and we are about to hit a favorite of the E-Town area. I believe they were voted the best bakery in Kentucky in Southern Living Magazine, or Kentucky Living Magazine. Yes. Best bakery. Let's go see Bess here.
Long-time friend of ours.
We've known her since before she came to E-Town when she was in Ratcliffe. Let's go see what Bess has got at the Sweet Retreat. Look at all these awards. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? And then you can see why. Look at this case. Oh, as a bearded weirdo would say, I'm never going to be a skinny man. We got big brownies and walnuts.
Look at that with all the coconut and the chips.
Oh, but what am I going to try? You feel one of the things that it's very important on this that I'll say is I emphasize what we're going to try, because if I'm the kind of person that if I'd have bought one, I would have eaten them. And, I'm not a person of small stature, so we had to be selective in going through that process, because it was one of the things.
She had a great selection that day. There was a lot to choose from.
You always eat with your eyes first, and
Yes.
I mean everything in that case just looked fantastic.
It sure does. And sorry about that. I had a little scene issue there, but I got it fixed now. But it does. It looks real great. Let's keep on going. Just stop me if you want to say anything. And everybody else, you're still there. I think I can still hear you. But I just can't fit everybody on screen.
What should I get? All right, guys. So we talk about a tough decision.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, what we were going to get. And let's be honest, I look like I could eat it all. I know that. But
No doubt.
I don't need to. So we got a oatmeal no-bake, chocolate no-bake cookie right here. And we got a carrot cake cupcake right here. And then this is the coup de grace. This right here.
I'm excited.
I don't know what she called it, but it's basically...
She called it a scrap cup.
A scrap cup. In our family, my wife will tell you when we get this cracked open, she'll tell you exactly what we call this. And it sounds a little dirty. So, this is a toughie. because the queen of no-bake cookies is sitting right there. And second place queen of no-bake cookies is my mama. So let's see how this goes. Save that for later. Plenty of peanut butter. Soft. That's a damn good cookie. All right, here we go. Carrot cake cupcake.
Well, carrot cake is one of both of our favorites, and we absolutely love it. And part of that for me is the cream cheese icing. So I'm just going to take a big bite out of this. Look at that, guys. Does that not look good?
It smells good. I wish it had smell-o-vision.
Oh, man. Wow. That is excellent. I mean, that is great.
Bite me, mama.
The cake is great. Nice and moist. Frosting's good. Great job, Bess. Great job.
All right. So this is the crumb cup, scrap cup.
She called it a scrap cup. And I think it's an incredible way. It's like a disassembled like cake ball, because this is all the scrap of her cake cuts and everything. And this is what you mix with frosting to make a cake ball. But she basically layered it in a cup with the buttercream so that you could just eat it. What a great way to use all your parts.
Parfait.
Yeah.
Now, in our family, the remnants of the cake we call the schmutz.
Oh, all the frosting and the crumbs and everything on the bottom of the pan. That's like the gold, and we fight over it. We call it the schmutz. So this is a schmutz-filled cup. It's fantastic.
Told you it sounded dirty.
All right.
I had a bite. I took a pre-bite. I thought it was exceptionally moist. The icing was really flavorful. And it's like wedding cake icing.
Yeah, we got like the this one has chocolate and vanilla cake in it with the frosting. Okay. That's awesome.
So we're finishing up here at Sweet Retreat, and we're in the car, and we're still snacking on the everything. Everything was fantastic. We've known Bess and Sweet Retreat for well over 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
We got to know her through the Small Business Alliance from our small business, and then when she was opening in Ratcliffe, and then she made the big move to E-Town and has just done a phenomenal job. She has blown up. Phenomenal products, huge on social media, award-winning bakery, and I'm just proud to say that we know her. And after coming up here today and having what we have, it's easy to see why she's done as well as she has. Yep. And we're going to keep cheering her on, and just love seeing her success. And if you're in E-Town, a Sweet Retreat Bakery is definitely an experience you've got to eat. We'll see y'all later.
I'm hungry.
I know. It's like I want to go get one right now.
Mm-hmm. For everybody that's not aware of where they're located, where exactly are they located?
So
they are a little hard to find.
They're in the plaza that's in front of Walmart, in between Lowe's and Walmart's, where Nama's stay. And I believe there's an optometrist that's there, Eye Doctor Place. I don't know the name of it, but they're right there in E-Town off of Dixie. But they're in the end cap of the building, so you got to turn in, go all the way down, and then wrap around. I think their neighbors are actually H&R Block there on Dixie.
Yeah, they're hard to find. If you weren't looking for them, you wouldn't see them. They're around all the way to the end of the building, and their front door actually opens up into like the Lowe's parking lot. Mm-hmm. Like they
overview.
Yeah, they're like their door faces Lowe's and Walmart, so you have to go all the way around to the side. So you have to look for it, but worth the hunt
for sure. For sure. And and I think one of the things that we saw from this visit, like I said, we've had Bess's stuff for a long time, and it's really, I think it's a testament to a business owner and to someone that's mastering their craft that 10 years later, her products are the best they've ever been. And, you see that improvement, and you see that growth as, in her, I've seen it in her cake decorating. I've seen it also in her, in her actual product, but then also you see it in her as a businesswoman and what she's been able to do and accomplish. And it's funny, and Rachel will understand this, and you guys will too, that, social media is not the reality that we live in, but it's perceived as that. And for someone to be able to master that and be able to put their best foot forward and do lives and do those things, and then use it to promote themselves and promote their business and to help people. That's one of the things that, the Experienced Eater page, we broke 2,000 subscribers, whatever, followers, I think is what you call it. And, and I'll tell you that when we did that review for Best, we were at about 500. And, and she was instrumental in us going, we would go live, and she helped with the Red Brick Cottage page. And I mean, just, she really is such a giving person that she used her clout and her chops to help us grow our pages. So we, like one of the things that the Red Brick Cottage page was big. She helped us get to 1,000 people so we could go live on that while we were doing our live selling shows and stuff. And so, I mean, she's somebody that has grown. She's mastered her craft. And then she's also out there helping anybody that she can be successful. And I mean, that's a win-win-win right there. And, it's somebody that deserves our support and encouragement. And, like I said, if you can't get there and go buy something from her, go to her Facebook page, go to her TikTok page, go to her Instagram, like, comment, share, support, encourage, do those things. And, you might not be able to go get a cake from her. But you know what? You share one of her wedding cake posts or one of her party cakes that she does for somebody, and then two of your friends end up going getting cakes from them. I mean, that's the impact. And in the economy that we're facing right now, small businesses need that support and that love.
I think right there is the thing that people don't understand is the most important part of social media, is that exactly same thing with our store or any of your businesses. Just because either they're not your jam or they're not something that you personally need, doesn't mean that somebody else or 10 other people that aren't going to need that. That liking, that comment, and that share is crucial, absolutely crucial to other people's businesses. And I encourage you guys to do that with anybody that you like their businesses, share them out there, get the word out about them. You have no idea what your post can bring that business. And it's so important. So please do that for everyone.
That's a good reminder. So bottom line is, if you want some good sweets, need to go check it out. And also, Corey Greenwell said, looks really good. I agree, Corey.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for doing that video review. And we appreciate you guys joining us like you have been. We look forward to next week's video that we'll react to. We're going to go ahead and move on.
Phil, I'm going to pop off real quick. I got to go grab something to eat. But I will be watching the interview. I can't wait to see what Rachel's got to say.
All right. That's where we're going next. So see you, John.
Peace out, John. Peace out.
And we're going to hop on Facebook because Michele has an appointment coming in. So we got she has somebody coming looking for a mother of the bride's dress. So.
All right. Well, I hope that goes well. We'll see you guys later.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.
All right, let's move this over. Let's see who else is here that we can add to this scene. Nate's probably there. We'll add him just in case. Well, for those of y'all that have been watching, we're on the last segment of the video, which will be an interview between us and our special guest, Rachel Brantingham. So our guest today is someone I've known since we were kids. I've had to enjoy watching her become one of the most successful businesswomen in Hardin County. But here's the thing. A lot of you know Rachel Brantingham's name. You've seen her real estate signs. Maybe you've worked with her team. Maybe you know about Brantingham Builders. But today, I want you to know Rachel, not the businesswoman, but the person behind all of it. The daughter, the mom, the sister, the woman who has built something remarkable while staying true to who she is. Rachel, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Phil. I'm excited.
All right, let's get started. So, Rachel, let's start at the beginning. Take us back. What was it like growing up as a Brantingham in Hardin County?
Yeah, so I'm a Hardin County native. My parents came here before I was born, and I loved growing up here, the small community and the connections that were made very early on. Growing up as a Brantingham, we were kind of a unique family, right? There was 7 kids in my family and mom and dad. So we attended Severance Valley Baptist Church, and we went to every Wednesday night dinner, and somebody would always spill their drink. And we went to Captain D's every Thursday where kids ate free because there was a billion of us. But it was a really great childhood, like having the smaller community where our afternoons were spent running free in the neighborhood because it was a safe community. Like it was a really great growing up here in Hardin County. So
Your dad, Paul, started Brantingham Builders decades ago. What are some of your earliest memories of watching him build that business? What did you learn just from being around it?
yeah, so I had a front row seat. So something unique about me, I was homeschooled. So my parents chose to go that route, religious reasons, but also just they wanted their hands really involved in our education. And so because of that, I had a really front row seat to like watching my dad, and I got to go to his job sites with him and be around and hear the conversations. And I saw the struggle. I saw the challenges that came with being an entrepreneur. I saw the cyclical market, the massive growth that happened over my childhood in Hardin County, but also the really difficult markets that there wasn't a custom home to build. So he had to shift and pivot into remodel work. And then he started his own insulation company to help get our family through some of those difficult market moments. So I think being homeschooled really allowed me to hear more of the conversations and be more involved. I got to go to the job sites and learn all the aspects of construction, which was pretty cool, because it gives me an understanding of homes outside of just the buying and selling side of the business. So I'm really grateful for that. I got to learn a lot about business by osmosis, right? They didn't sit me down and teach it to me, but I just was hearing the conversations as they were happening. And so I learned a lot before I ever was in a position to start my own business.
Yes, I understand that. I was homeschooled too. That's how our families all met and had similar upbringing from my grandfather, who was a big entrepreneur. So that resonates. That you grew up in a much bigger family than I did, though. What was that like? Were you all expected to pitch in and work, or did your dad or parents treat you any differently because you were one of the daughters?
No, not really. Well, so I have two brothers and there's 5 girls. And so I'm closer to the younger. So the older ones had a lot more responsibility. As it trickled down to me, I got to kind of choose what I wanted to do. But we were all heavily involved. You know, dad was someone who, you know, life is hard and he wanted us to understand that. And if we wanted to earn something, like he paid us at a very young age. I remember feeling like I probably wasn't, but I felt like I was the richest girl in my friend group because my dad would pay us cash for our work. So it instilled in me a very early understanding of like, hey, I can go out and earn my own money and then I can use it in any way I want. So it kind of started that entrepreneur in me at a very early age. But no, I wasn't really treated differently. In fact, I remember one day on a job site, my dad calling me, and it was probably one of those old cell phones that you like flip open, right? And he was like, hey, I had been there cleaning up the job site, and he said, hey, go find the brick guys and tell them that I want all that brick moved around to the back. They put it in my way. And I remember going around to the bricklayers, and of course I'm like this little blonde girl, right? And so intimidated. And I was like, hey guys, my dad wants you to move all of that over there. Right. And so, but it instilled in me very early, like the courage to just handle tough situations and have those conversations. There was never a difference between my brothers and I in regards to business. I think he was probably a little nicer to me just because I have a little bit more of a delicate emotion, but he was great in like really early on teaching me to be tough and to handle the reality of life.
When did you first realize you wanted to be in business? Was there a moment where something clicked, or was it just always in your blood?
I think it was always in my blood. I think being born around it and like hearing the conversations, and then more than that, I wanted to be in business. I think it was that I wanted to have an impact. So I got married at 21 and we had moved away, and I knew that I couldn't take the construction business, or I didn't really want to go work for another construction. I started at Panera Bread, and I ended up building a really great career with Panera. They were awesome to me. I loved it. I was a market training manager and covered a huge territory by the end of my career with a lot of opportunity going forward. And I remember the day I came home and had a conversation with my husband and said, hey, I want to leave my really high paying, good benefit job, and I want to go back to work for my parents' small business. And it was a massive pay reduction. And of course, there were other reasons I wanted to have kiddos, and I didn't feel like being on the road all the time was a good option for me. And so it was a choice we agreed upon. But the biggest thing about that is I remember sitting in a cafe late at night, and all the sandwiches had gone out and the soups had gone out, and I thought, I'm not really making an impact here. Like tomorrow everyone's going to wake up hungry, and sure, the relationships that I'm building are very impactful, but I wanted a little bit more of an impact. And so came back and started working for my parents' company, and the fun of driving around Hardin County and being with my children, because my dad did it with me, and being like, hey, mommy helped build that house. And hey, mommy sold that commercial building that used to be. And hey, mommy did this. And so it's impacting. And I think Hardin County has my heart. I plan to be in this community for the rest of my life, raise my children here. And so I was in Louisville at the time and knew I wanted to transition back. But I think business has been in my blood. It's something that I'm just very passionate about and enjoy. And so it never was a decision. It was just, this is what I was meant to do. So.
Good.
Well, let's talk about your path. You're the owner and CEO of the Brantingham Group at Keller Williams Heartland, which is one of the top real estate teams in Hardin County. How did that start? What made you decide to build your own team instead of just being a solo agent?
Yeah. So I'm incredibly blessed. My business has grown dramatically, and there were the early days when I sold my very first house, and I remember getting out of that closing and bawling my eyes out in the car because I just was so excited, right? And so, it started there, and then it gradually grew, and it was just one person that believed in me and knew that I was going to support them to the best of my abilities. And suddenly I got to where my capacity was maxed out, and I knew that I didn't want to say no to any of these people. Like I knew that I was going to serve them with heart and passion and do my absolute best. And so I started looking for team members that were going to match me in that same passion and heart. And then I was so fortunate to bring on some incredible people, and I trained them, and we taught them how I speak and how I do things and the type of expectations I have for them. And so it was just a natural byproduct of growth, right? Like at some point you have to add leverage or you're not going to be able to continue to grow. And so I've been really lucky to partner with some amazing agents who just fall all over themselves to support and provide guidance and be at the top of the education. We are constantly, pursuing additional education so we can be more creative in the options that we offer to our clients. So I'm really proud of the team we've built, but it was just a natural byproduct of the growth that we were experiencing.
If you think back to the beginning of that journey, what was it like? Was it scary, exciting? Talk a little bit about how it felt emotionally.
Yeah, growth is always probably multi-layered, right? You're super excited, right? Like here I went from, so post-divorce, I remember being grateful. He and I separated and we split financially, and I was grateful that I got to keep my home and the current position I was in, I was okay, but realizing that like I couldn't afford the mortgage on my house and I was going to have to put my house up for sale and move into an apartment. And so going from that moment of being like, how am I going to make it, to then hitting this milestone where it was like, oh my gosh, I have to add people to be able to keep up with the business that I've built. So you're excited, right? Because it's wonderful. But then there's also fear, right? As a leader, when you morph into, an individual agent who's just running their own business to actually have to develop and be responsible. I mean, in essence, they view me as their CEO and leader, but I really show up every day to serve them. I am employed by them to produce growth opportunities for them every single day. And so it is a give and take. I think there's a lot of emotions when you adjust into that level, and it's a continuous adjustment, right? Like now you're like, oh, I'm taking on more and I need more leverage, and now that leverage has to coach and develop the other leverage. And so I definitely think that it's a multi-layered emotion, and I think fear and excitement typically go hand in hand. So
I agree. And then didn't you added a property management company? Now is that part of the Brantingham group as well, or is it separate? And then also, honestly, what made you say I want to take on more?
Yeah. So it's a standalone company, Brantingham Properties. We manage over 350 doors, both short, mid, and long term in Hardin County. I'm super proud of that organization. So it's 3 years in the making. We have a goal to get to 500 properties by the end of next year. So if you're looking for a young strategic property management company, we want to be your team. So I had a client who came to me, and they were so kind. They said, Rachel, our old property manager is going into retirement, and we want you to open a property management company. And I remember sitting there in the office, and I just said, that's not in the plans right now. Like I was going to do that at some point. It was in my big scheme of businesses that I eventually wanted to open, but it was 5 years away, right? So he said, you know what? It was a Friday afternoon. He was very kind. He said, Rachel, you know what? I'm going to give you till Monday. I want you to think about it. Okay. And so he left my office. I was not going to think about it. I knew clearly I was not up for starting a property management company at that moment. I went to church on Sunday, and I go to Southeast Christian, and the pastor preached my favorite book of the Bible, which is Esther. And at the end of the sermon, he looked out in the audience and he said, one of you guys is being faced with a decision. And I just want you to know that, like Esther, it's for such a time as this. Well, gosh darn it, I walked to the parking lot and I called this client and I said, hey, so I'm starting a property management company. If you're up for this, I'd like to take on your properties. And so that started the whole thing. And it's been ugly. It's been hard to sit here and be like, we made it to 350 doors and it just happened. Would be a lie. It was a challenge. We had to learn a whole new operating system. We needed people. We went into it debt free. And so building from nothing is messy, right? And so the owners that we proudly support, I can't thank them enough for, allowing us to grow with them and learn the ropes. And they trusted us to do that as quickly as we possibly could. So I'm really proud of the company that we've built and the team that we've assembled. They serve with heart and passion every day. So.
Okay. Also, for your third company you're involved with, Brantingham Builders, I think you'd lead that with your brother, Mike. Well, that's three major things you're juggling. Now, how do you do it? What does a typical day even look like for you?
Yeah. So I do it by trusting the team that I've assembled. It requires a lot of leverage. And then I create myself a list of everything that I'm supposed to do in a given week, and I give 80% of it away, right? So I have to just capitalize on the most important 20%, and that's what I spend my time focusing on. So a given day, a given week, time blocking is essential. So I block all of my time. There is, it's kind of that saying, like, if you don't tell your money where to go, it'll just disappear. In the same way, if you don't tell your time where to go, it'll disappear. So like my calendar, it would, it's literally blocked out every single hour of the day. And that's just the way my time has grown into it. I have a responsibility to my team to protect it and then make sure it's returning an investment, and then be able to shift the responsibilities to them. And, it takes a lot to go from a single entrepreneur, because at that point your hands are on everything, right? You're manhandling every single thing, that everything's being juggled perfectly because you're doing it. Well, then turning over that trust and responsibility, because these aren't just transactions. These aren't house sales. These are people and relationships that I really treasure and value. And it's not another deal to me. No deal is another deal to me. Whether it's $100,000 home or a $5 million home, it is not just a sale. It is a family, a friend, a client that I dearly love and want to ensure that they have the most magical experience that we can produce. So it takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of learning, and I fail daily, right? And it's just getting back up, and we adjust and we figure out a better way to approach it, and we keep going as quickly as possible.
That's right.
Well, that's impressive too. Just hearing you talk about it, learning something every day. I want to talk a little bit about working with your family, because I know you get to do that. Let's talk about working with Mike for a minute. You two are running, Brantingham Builders that your dad built. What's that dynamic like? Do you all get along all the time, or do either one of you still push each other's buttons like you did when you were kids?
So Mike and I are basically twins, right? We're 13 months apart in age. My mom like smushed us together because we were homeschooled. So we learned at the same pace. And so a lot of people ask us all the time if we're twins. No, it is so much fun working with Mike. I'm incredibly impressed by the man that he is and the way he operates. He has the knowledge, the construction knowledge of like a 50-year-old, and he's in his 30s. Like, he has been on job sites since he was really little. And not only that, but he's the president of the Lincoln Trail Home Builders Association currently. To have accomplished that at such a young age, like, he's very, very impressive. I'm very proud to work alongside him. We give each other a lot of grief. He is the first to call me out if I drop a ball. But I appreciate that. We are literally so close together. He lives next door to me. Like, we just, our lives are very, very similar. And both of my brothers, my older brother, Joshua Brantingham, he's not involved in Brantingham Builders, but he is a remodeler, a spec home builder. He runs the insulation company that my parents used to own, has been sold a couple times. He runs that out of Louisville. They are both my biggest fans. Also, they give me the most hell for everything that I do, and they joke with me the most. But I know that I could call either of them, all of my siblings at any moment, and they would show up for me and support me. And so, it's fun working with them. It's a lot of there's some I want to say shit talking, but I feel like that's an inappropriate word to say on here. There's a lot of shit talking.
We can allow it. Yeah.
We've said
That's
worse.
good.
Don't worry about it. I've said worse.
They give me a lot of grief.
Oh, I've seen it too. And for those of you who don't know, Josh is one of my best friends. Mike, I've known for a long time, as a good friend as well. So it's fun to see it. We'll see y'all grow up and then see still give each other heck. How about that? Heck.
Yeah.
But how do you value? Well, you already answered that question, so we'll move on.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about motherhood and life lessons. So you're running 3 different businesses, but Rachel, you're also a mom of 2 boys. How do you balance that out? And honestly, do you ever feel guilty about the juggling act?
Oh, mom guilt is horrible. I mean, I think even if you're the very most magical parent in the world who shows up and has millions of dollars and never has to work, there's still going to be guilt involved with motherhood. And I'm sure there's guilt on the fatherhood side as well, not to isolate just mothers out of that. But, early on, I sat in a training and they talked a lot about making your kids partners. And so my conversations with them they're probably more adult level than they are. They're 6 and 9, Maximus and Alexander. And, but when, like, for example, the other night I had to go speak in an event and their dad was picking them up, which I'm so grateful for the partner I chose to have children with. He is an amazing father. He shows up to support me in so many ways, and I love his wife. They're really great. And so we together are raising those kiddos. And so I knew their dad was coming to pick them up. And of course, they wanted to stay at mommy's house, so they got sad. And I grabbed their hands and I pulled them in close and I said, listen, guys, I need you guys to be really good partners with mommy tonight, okay? Mommy has to go speak at this event, and you guys have to do a really good job going to daddy's house and being really good for daddy. And then this weekend, and I started in on all these fun things that we're going to do, right? And instantly, it was a different conversation. They like leveled up because they were rising to the occasion. So absolutely, mom guilt is real. I think, I struggle with like being present at times. There's moments in my business, but I think balance is not real. I think everyone's like, I want to live a balanced life. That's not the reality.
Right.
If for anybody, there's seasons, even if you have a 9 to 5 and you're not an entrepreneur, there are seasons where you're going to have to stay till 10 o'clock at night to get something done, or, you're going to invest in something or with your church or, just at different seasons. So I view my life in seasons, and when I'm in a hard work season and it's just grinding it out to make something successful, I ask for grace for my kids. I explain it to them, whether they understand it or not. I want them to say, hey, listen, mommy's building something, and, I'm going to do everything I can to be present when I'm here, but you might spend a little extra time with daddy over the next week or 2. And, I just need your all support in that. And they get it. They get it more now than they used to. But I think, and then just giving yourself grace, like you're probably a better parent than you realize. And the fact that you care so much should tell you that. So it is a juggling game, and there's seasons to it, but I love everything that I do, from my children being my highest priority to the businesses that I run. And so I try to show up fully, and you can't be overly worried about the details, right? Mom might not be cooking dinner every night, but we're going to go to grandma's house and we're going to make it fun because we're going to tacos again, right? So you let the details go. Some of the things don't matter. If the Christmas tree isn't decorated the day after Thanksgiving, it's okay.
I agree. And there is father guilt too. But yeah. I don't think it's quite the same. But funny you mentioned your parents, because I got another question. A question that I wrote mainly because I've experienced this before. Curious if you have. Was there something your mom and dad did when you were growing up that you didn't understand or maybe even resented at the time, but now as a mom yourself, you totally get it?
Oh, so many things. There was a lot of aspects of our childhood that were hard, right? Like my parents were not, and my dad more so. My dad was pretty serious growing up. Like he towed a hard line. And I definitely took it, like I kind of even saw it as him being mean when I was younger. But now I'm really grateful for it, right? It's made us tough. And it's funny because this is a little funny one. I remember my dad and mom had this rule that on Saturdays they would give us all a 30-minute notice, and we had to clean up our house, and any toys left out were put in a trash bag and thrown away. Which, if you want to get a clean house quick, this is a very good tool. So the other day I pulled out a trash bag and was like, all right, boys, this is what we're doing. And like, I didn't understand it then. And I talked them through it, right? I explained to them the importance of having a clean home and stuff. And so there were certainly aspects of my childhood was, they were very protective. And I remember they isolated me from some friendships that weren't healthy. And at the time I thought, y'all are being so cruel, right? Like, why would you not want me to hang out with my friend? But now as an adult, I try to be overly involved in my kids' lives and do the same thing and try to help them associate with individuals that I feel are of high character. So I think there were many things. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Me too. I know. It's crazy how you think your parents might not know that much until you become a parent yourself.
Right.
But yeah, right. So, what do you want your boys to learn from watching you? Not just about business, but about life.
Yeah. This is a great question because I think there's so many layers to this one. I think I want them to know that anything is possible if you're willing to work really hard, and that connections and relationships are the fastest way to success. You can know a lot and not have the right individuals in your world and really struggle to get ahead quickly, right? So I'm so grateful for this small community because I have so many friendships and partnerships that have quickly sped me in my journey, and they have been catalysts to my success. And so I want them to play sports here, and I want them to go to school here, and I want them to be connected, because I think pour into those relationships and then vice versa, what you get out of those. So, but I think they already see it. Like, they already are little mini entrepreneurs that sell everything from golf balls on the golf course to trying to sell tickets to my Christmas event parties. I'm like, no, we can't charge for those. Those are free, right? But I think they're already starting to hear those conversations and see that. And so I want them to know that they really can accomplish anything they set their mind to.
All right. That is great. All right, we're wrapping up, but we still got a couple more little segments. I kind of wanted to make sure we were thorough here. But Rachel, I wanted to shift gears a little bit because I think it's important. Especially considering the time of the year we're in with mental health issues and just people not being the happiest, or, so there's a lot of issues out there. So I thought maybe you sharing a little could help some people. And you and I have both been through divorces. I watched you go through that. I know how hard it was. Can you talk about that time, but specifically, like, what was it like trying to keep everything together when your personal life felt like it was falling apart?
Yeah, I wouldn't wish divorce on my worst enemy. The closest thing I can compare it to is the death is a death, right? So I've never been widowed, but hearing that experience, in a way, it's very similar because the person that you were going to spend the rest of your life with, you know, the plans that you had made, the future that you had envisioned all dies in that moment. And in an aspect, it's kind of hard because they still walk around, right? And they're no longer your person, right? So then you have to relearn how to perceive them and how you interact with each other. So it was very dark. And I think it was a grieving process that I needed to do on my own. I didn't really bring my family and friends into it until it was really far along. And I remember sleeping on the bathroom floor because I wasn't sure if I was going to vomit or not. Like it was really dark. But I also think that friends and family and my children gave me a reason to get up every single day, right? And there was like an act of like, okay, you can't stay here, right? There is no choice but to move through this. And I remember I walked in to the divorce attorney's office and I sat down and we went through the paperwork and he got up and he left. And as I got up and left, I walked out in the cold and I remember it was a freezing day in January. It was cloudy, similar to today, but no snow. And I glanced down at my phone and one of my really good friends texted and said, Rachel, embrace this as a new adventure. That's all it said. And so then I started changing my perspective, right? Like I could define my future exactly as I wanted it to look, right? And I could make the decisions that worked best for me and my boys, and I could make my own money. And I made a bucket list of things that I wanted to experience, right? And it was skydiving, and I wanted to travel, and I wanted to do all of these things. And then it started to infuse in me an excitement again, right? Then I stopped thinking about all the negative and everything that I had lost. And I started thinking about the positive, and I surrounded myself with friends and family that reminded me of my value and encouraged me. So 100%, I have been there when I did not want to wake up. I did not want to wake up the next day. It was embarrassing. It was lonely. I felt so unworthy and unloved. And, you know, sitting here today, I'm so grateful that I made that decision to get up every single day for my children and for my success. So if you're going through that, just know that you're not alone. Reach out to me, reach out to Phil, reach out to a family or friend. Someone who loves you, because there are people out there, more people than you can imagine that love you. So,
yes. Well, one thing I learned when I was going through my divorce was how easy it is to isolate yourself. It sounds like you know that you figured out that that's pretty much the worst thing you can do. But like you said too, I think in the beginning of it, you got to kind of deal with it on your own. It's hard to bring other people into it. But I don't necessarily know if that was right of me either, to like, because I did isolate for a long time. But I'm glad you pushed through it. What would you say, which you kind of already said this, so I'm skipping a couple questions down, but what would you say to someone watching right now who's in the middle of their own storm, whatever that looks like? How do you get back up when it's easier just to stay down?
I would recommend that you paint the vision of what the future looks like, down to what it tastes like and what it looks like, you know, where you have to recreate your excitement for life. Because if you're really in a dark place, it's easy to feel like everything is awful and everything's a mess. And, you know, you're so heartbroken. It's really hard to think about the future and give yourself a reason to get back up. So, you know, and then really, I know that you want to isolate. It's the easiest thing to do. No one understands, right? Like no one could possibly understand what you're going through, but they do. And most likely there's someone there waiting to be let in if you would allow them. So find that person and then just fight. Do not give in to those thoughts. And, you know, whatever that may look like, for me, it was distraction. I really poured myself into my work. And I'm grateful for everything that I built during that dark time because it gave me a distraction. But find your thing and then really just take control of those thoughts and then really focus on friends and family and what's to come and the excitement of your future.
They always say you are what you think, which I always don't know if I really believe that until after I went through some hard times. So, you know, thank you for that and being honest and vulnerable with us. curious about your future and the drive. And I always ask everybody that I interview pretty much, try to figure out what their why is. So after everything you've been through, what drives you now? What keeps you pushing forward? What is your why?
Yeah. So, my why, obviously, the nice answer is my children, but as I've done a lot of self work over the last decade, I've looked deeper than that. Like, really, what is it that I was born to be and born to do? And so, obviously, I do everything for my boys. I want them to have a future that is better than mine, right? But I remember attending a funeral of a local gentleman who had passed away. And I walked into that funeral and it was standing room only. There was no seats. And I remember a gentleman getting up and giving me his seat, which was very chivalrous of him. But I sat there in the back and I barely knew this gentleman. I knew his daughter and came there to support her. And I heard them get up one by one and speak about this incredible man and the way he lived his life and how he gave back and all these people that just were so blessed by his existence. And I just remember as like a 19-year-old girl thinking, this is what I want my funeral to look like. I don't want to just live and die.
Mhm.
I really want to have left an impact. Maybe that impact looks like 20 or 30 people, right? But if I can build a big enough platform where I'm able to really impact more people than that, I wanted to. And so I've just set out on this journey to touch people's lives and try to know and be involved with as many people as I possibly can be. And there's a poem that I love. It's the line that you've probably heard is like, rage, rage against the coming of the night. Everyone, death comes for us all, right? At some point, we're all going to be gone. But the impact that we have on this world, and I'm a Christian, and the impact that we create in heaven on the souls that we come into contact with here on this side of heaven, it's my why. It's what gets me up in the morning, and the excitement of who I'm going to meet and those relationships that I'm going to create, and the connections and things. That's what I do every day.
All right. That is powerful stuff. If someone's listening right now, maybe a young woman who's thinking about starting a business or pursuing something big, what would you tell her?
Oh, call me because I will be your biggest cheerleader. You're 100% capable. The world is wide and big, and there's no reason to be scared. Like, you put one foot in front of the other and then surround yourself with really smart people. There's more people that want to partner with you and give you feedback and input than you imagine. Like, I'll be your biggest fan. Like, I can, so I would 100% say, don't let fear hold you back, because that's all it is. And fear is just something in our heads that tells us that we're not good enough and we're not going to be able to do what we think we're going to be able to do. It is all a lie. Like, you are braver and more confident and cooler than you think. So go out there and just take it on. I like I said, I would be your biggest fan.
Well,
to that,
Rachel,
fear
go ahead, Scott.
is false evidence appearing real. So sometimes, like what you're saying, Rachel, is if you don't have the belief or faith in yourself, borrow it from somebody.
Yes.
There's lots of people out there like Rachel, Phil, anybody else that sometimes, you need to have somebody to have your back sometimes, that shoulder to lean on. Kind of like what Britten said in the comments. You don't be afraid for that, because there is someone out there. You just got to
We're going to check those comments.
And I think finding your tribe is super important, because I'm sure people who look at me be like, she probably never is fearful. She probably, doesn't lack confidence. I 100% have been put back together by my friends and family more times than anyone can count. There have been moments where I wanted to burn it all to the ground, and I didn't see a way forward. But it's having that really awesome tribe, and I'll be in your tribe. Pick somebody, but somebody who puts you back together. It reminds you who you are.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So Rachel, I've known you for a long time, but sitting here today having this conversation, I didn't know all of that. So I just wanted to say thank you. It's an impressive story. And as a friend, proud of what you've been able to accomplish. So now I want to tell everybody something. Rachel didn't come on here just as a guest. Starting next week, Rachel is joining the Hardin Local team as a collaborating member and host. She's going to be here as often as possible, bringing the same heart and authenticity that you just saw to every conversation we have on the show. So Rachel, welcome to the team. We're excited to do this with you.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
We are too, very excited. Wish the rest of the guys were here. But we went a little longer today so they could all be, So to everyone watching though, but if you're trying to connect with Rachel, I'll make sure that she has her phone number down there in her name, but also make sure I add her contact information to our link tree at hardinlocal.com so you can talk to and reach out to her. Before we get off here, I'm going to check the comments. While I'm checking the comments, Rachel, is there anything you're working on new that that you wanted to share, that you're able to share or wanted to share?
We've got some big things coming. So I'm not allowed to elaborate too much. I have a way with getting so excited that I share too soon, and then my team's like, right? But of course, just with what we currently have going on, we've got big goals, and we want to partner with you on your goals. So I think that's a little bit different about how we approach real estate. My goal is really to use real estate with you as a tool to increase your wealth, increase your goals. So we view ourselves more as strategists versus just agents. So if you're looking to partner with a property management company that is going to be a strategist for you and work with you on your team, we want to be that for you. If you want a builder, or if you're looking to invest in real estate, buy, sell, that's who we are. So we want the opportunity to work with you.
All right, let's go through these comments. And we thank you, Rachel, for being real with us today. We definitely do. This was great. So Corey, that was earlier. So Job said, well said, Rachel. John O'Brien. And Lisa Story said, such an inspiration. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Lisa, for the comment. Britten commented as well. There's always someone here for you. Don't be afraid to find a shoulder to lean on. And I would highly suggest that you do that, especially with seasonal depression and whatever else you're dealing with. It's way easier to do it with somebody else. Lisa commented again, saying woohoo. All right, during one of your phenomenal answers there. And Matt Mann's clapping for what you shared. And my parents, Keith and Megan Taul. Welcome, Rachel. You make these guys look good. And Britten again said, I'm excited as we move forward. Rachel's a rock star that will bring tremendous value to the team. I agree. Thank you, Britten. And before we go, I just wanted to express a little more of my excitement. I've been working with Rachel on talking her into doing this since, was it Josh's birthday in July, I think?
Long time.
So 5 months. So it was something that I've worked on. And sometimes people tell me I don't look as excited on camera. But I'm very excited on the inside. So
you're an introvert.
Just wanted
That's why our introvertness is more closed in.
Oh, and Lisa said again to you, Rachel, I'm an entrepreneur and would love to partner with you on a project. So
hey, Lisa, text me. That's my personal cell number on the bottom of the screen, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can.
Yeah, and that number, Lisa, is 270-401-2801. Before we log off, just wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. Also, I wanted to give anybody else opportunity for a shout out. You guys, either one of you have one birthday or a friend you wanted to say something to or anything like that? Are we good? I think we're good.
We're good.
All right. Well, don't forget to follow us and go to hardinlocal.com and follow us across all our social media platforms. And also check hardinlocal.com maybe by 5. I'll have a bunch more links up there where you can follow Rachel. I'll put her contact info on there as well as Scott's links, Nate's links, Britten, and Experienced Eater, and everybody else that's part of this podcast. Also follow us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook as well. If you're watching on Facebook now and haven't clicked that follow button, go ahead and do it. And we really appreciate you guys joining us. This has definitely been our most watched stream. And if you missed the stream, don't worry. If you just saw it, you can rewind it or you can wait for me to put out the edited segments. And you can watch what you want to watch on your own time in your own way. And we thank you for sticking with us. I know we went longer than normal, but we'll see you next week at the same time the same place. Have a great week.